Howdy. How are you, Landry?
Great as always. I always want to say the same thing. I've realized that I say the same thing every single time, but
What do you say?
I say like verbatim, can't believe it's Thursday. Oh my gosh.
Can't
Like,
can't believe it's been 2 weeks.
yeah, like same thing. So I'm like, I need to switch it up. I've been busy doing home projects. I've been refinishing my cabinets. So it's been pretty good. What about you?
Doing
What have you been up to?
doing them yourself?
Yeah, I got like a airless sprayer recently and I've been
Oh,
like
cool.
posting about it and stuff. So it's been pretty fun learning and came out really nice.
Your
So
dad, your dad is a really talented cabinet maker as well, right?
yeah, he growing up I used to like be part of the team of prepping. So then I took that knowledge of like taping off my boxes really good. And then I was like, I'm gonna do the spraying part now. But yeah, he gave me a bunch of tips to make sure it was executed properly. But I love my dad. He's awesome.
Amazing. Well, welcome everybody to Jamil Goes Off Market with Landry Morby. Um, it's bittersweet what I'm about to announce today. Um, First of all, if you guys have enjoyed Jamil Goes Off Market with Landry Morby, do me a favor and write in the chat, um, enjoy. If you've enjoyed it, just say enjoy. I just want to see how many of you guys have enjoyed this incredible live that we've been doing all these weeks. We just want to know that it's had impact, that you guys have learned and demystified some of the things that we do. Awesome. Yes, so many of you guys have enjoyed it. So it's with it's bittersweet that I announce that after this live stream, Jamil Goes Off Market with Landry Morby will be no more. What do you think of that, Landry?
I'm bummed. It's terrible news.
It is terrible news.
But
What a fun like name, what a fun stream, what a fun thing that we've been doing here. And
yeah.
but there's some good news because uh
People are
um
probably like, why is she smiling when you're like, this is
yeah,
coming to a close?
yeah.
I'm like,
And okay, so the and is the and is we have listened to what we feel the majority of the folks that tune into this program need. And it is going granular, getting right to like start to finish the basics of wholesaling. And so Landry and I were talking the other week, and we really, really want to make sure that we're listening to what you guys need and providing you the information, providing you the tools, providing you the processes so you can do your wholesale business from start to finish, right? And that means that we got to go batch to basics. And so after this live stream, we will be retiring Jamil Goes Off Market with Landry Morby because we do so much more than just go off market. We do
oh yeah.
on market deals, we do off market deals, we do agent outreach, we do so many things in what we're doing here. We're comping, there's so much, right? And so we are going to go batch to basics. And so, guys, make sure you keep your eyes peeled for this new format that we'll be coming out with, batch to basics with Jamil and Landry. And we're going to really start from the beginning, right? So you learn about wholesale real estate. Now what? Right? Now what? What's first step? Because I think the number one DM that I get, and I get thousands of them, but the number one DM that I get is, how do I get started? How do I get started? What do I do? And I mean, that's a pretty big question, right? Because if you knew what step one was, and then step two, and then step three, and then step four, my belief is, and see, like Chris says, was the first step be a title company? Chris, that's what we're going to talk about. At what point is it necessary for you to have a contact with a title company, right? And so we're going to be going granular, batch to basics from step one all the way through to the end so that you guys can really get a good understanding of how to do this business start to finish. And I believe and Landry believes that this will provide way more value for you, way more opportunities for you to learn. And yeah, it's not going to be, only calling. You're not going to hear me, on the phone doing funny accents as much, but we'll be doing things like filling out contracts,
Yeah.
comping properties, knowing when to double close versus when to use an assignment. If you have an agent that doesn't allow for an assignment, how to get around the assignability clause, how to choose a title company that is not only going to do investor deals, but will pay you to do their deals with them and give you free marketing. There's so many opportunities and tools out there at the top of the funnel of this business, right? From the beginning of your journey, we're going to be starting there. And so I just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Batch Leads. They've been just an incredible partnership for us and have provided a platform and the resources required for us to put this on. And so if I could just get everybody in the chat to just show some love to Batch, because truly this show doesn't exist without them. We have had some very generous sponsorship from them that allows us to be able to produce this, because it's not cheap. It's not cheap to get the video equipment, the production, the lighting, all of the things, pay for Landry, her time, my time, all of it. This actually is a very resource intense free service that the good people at Batch are providing to you. So if we could all just give lots of love to Batch. Yes, thank you guys. Throw your love in the chat for Batch. Batch is the bomb. A friend of Batch since their inception. I truly adore the company. I truly adore their heart. And I'm going to say this, and I'm probably going to get in trouble for it, but I'm going to say it anyways. When there was the war was between PropStream and Batch, right? It was that was the two big gorillas in the room. When PropStream sold, they abandoned wholesalers. So I just want to know who in the chat right now has a subscription to PropStream. If you have a subscription to PropStream and you're in the chat right now, please just write prop in the chat, just so I know that you're here. Again, no shade or anything, but let me know. Do you have a subscription to PropStream right now? Say so in the chat. I just want to try to get a good understanding of how many of you guys are using that tool. Okay, so we got Brittany, got quite a few. Robert, okay, wow. Okay, my goodness. See this right here, friends. This right here is where I'm. This is where it becomes problematic for me, because let's talk about the reality of what PropStream and they both are similar platforms. Okay, they're both similar platforms, but they have different data sets. Like they tap into different areas to get their data. Now, when PropStream has been a phenomenal tool for so many years. It was so good. But post-exit, they abandoned the real estate investor community. They abandoned the ability for us to be able to, get the real-time data that investors need. The skip tracing is not what it was. It's become very antiquated, very, very antiquated. So I ask for all of you guys that have been honest and in the chat have shared that you guys are, loyal PropStream users, that you really give Batch the chance that it deserves, because this platform is so much more. It's so much more. We got on market. We got opportunities to do MLS deals. You have opportunities to do off market deals. It's the best skip tracing that we've found. And truly, the support is second to none. The community that they're building is incredible. And I'm not seeing PropStream sponsor live streams teaching people who are in the beginning of their journey, putting on opportunities in situations like this. They're just not doing it, right? But our good people at Batch are. And so in terms of the reciprocity of how we should be doing business and choosing where to spend our dollars, I really, really want you guys to think about, who are you supporting and why are you supporting them? And really understand the utility that comes from working with batch. Now, Gigi May says the skip tracing here is more expensive. Is it more expensive with batch or is it more expensive with prop? Do you know, Landry?
I think it's us, but guess what? It's the quality. And if you're paying for bad data, you're going to end up. That's the truth. Of course, if you look at something compared side by side, then of course everybody's going to go for the cheaper thing right there. But over the long term, that's where you start to see.
Also, I think, yeah, I paid 10 cents versus 15 cents on a skip trace, right? So 10 at prop, 15 at batch. But if my number is no good, then what was the point of the 10? Right? I'd rather pay 15 cents for 5 good numbers than 10 cents for 10 bad numbers, right? Because I get better quality. I'm getting more hits. And guys, between batch leads and privy, they're just different. They're different platforms altogether. So this isn't a conversation of batch versus privy. They're different altogether. But when it comes to prop, when it comes to batch, I have to say I've been a loyal follower, a loyal customer, and a loyal advocate for the batch family. And so we just wanted to let you guys know that because we appreciate all of you guys for tuning in, and because we are so happy about our next show, Batch to Basics, we have created a limited time offer for any of you guys that are looking to make the change from prop to batch. There's going to be a link in the chat. It's batchleads.io/Jamil. And if you use code BASICS, we're going to give you 50% off your first month. So you're really going to be able to test this and understand this for what its value is. I highly, 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 highly recommend you give this the chance that it deserves and see why so many thousands of people have made the switch from PropStream to Batch Leads. And again, we're the only platform that's helping you from start to finish with Batch to Basics. So Landry, I'm super excited about that. Now,
me too.
Since we have you guys all here and so many of you guys have been vocal and active in the chat, we wanted to get your opinion because we want Batch to Basics to be a show that curates to what your needs are. So for the next few minutes, what I would really like to see is you write in the chat what you need the most help in. Okay, so let's talk about what some of these things could be. Okay, do you need help? I feel like your brother right now because I have this cool iPad.
I know, it's like, all right, let's bring up the whiteboard.
Let's get the whiteboard. Okay, so you're beginning your wholesale journey. Okay, you're in the beginning of your wholesale journey.
And by the way, just quick side note too, Jamil, when you're about to break this down, if you guys, especially with that offer in there and you get to pull 1,000 free seller, buyer, agent leads in a week and get 50% off the first month, I just wrapped up a challenge for people this week where we went into every single thing you can think of within Batch. So if you're not super software savvy, or if you're having a tough time switching over to a different platform, or just it's annoying to learn how to use a different software, I love to teach you guys how to use it and dive into all of the nitty-gritty software side of things. So I hope that you guys will join and lean on me as a resource because I love doing this stuff. So anyway, just keep that in mind too, because we'll make sure that you guys have success with the tools.
Love it. Love it. Okay, great. So here we are. I asked for your guys' opinions on what you would be looking for in terms of basic knowledge and basic information. And you guys have started flooding us with information. So, Landry, great question. Does Batch show mortgage information and any details on low equity properties?
Yes, it does. And you can pull that data up too. There's certain plans that you can you have to be in a higher plan to actually filter the mortgage data, but it's shown to everybody. And then you could also pull people up that have low or little to no equity as well, which is pretty nice. So it'll show you that.
Amazing. So I'm starting to just curate what these suggestions are in. And thank you, Lisa. No, Lisa is not a paid promoter, guys. She's truly just, she has been with us for a long time. And we love you, Lisa. Thank you so much for your support. So, we want to learn about how to find cash buyers. Beautiful. So that's something we can absolutely do. We've had an episode where we did that, but happy to do more and more of them. Offer price. Love that.
Mm.
Love that. So we'll do a show where we help you guys figure out how much should you be offering on specific types of properties, whether it be a cosmetic remodel or a full gut remodel, and how to know. And if it's an on-market deal and it's priced right, how much should you still be negotiating based off of how many days on market it's been? There's so much nuance. There's so many psychological things and factors you need to take into consideration when you're providing or giving an offer number out. So I think offer price is a great, great,
Love
great,
that.
great. We have another person who says, I want leads. Well,
Oh yeah.
you came to the right place there, Abraham, because leads is what we do. Okay. So we're going to teach you how to get all the leads, whether they be on market, whether they be off market, whether they be for virtual deals, whether that be through driving for dollars, whether you are cold calling, whether you are doing agent outreach, all of that, we will help you in our leads session. So amazing. Oh my God. Of course, my favorite thing had to be here. Comping. So yeah, Landry and I will be doing full episodes of comping. So you guys can bring us your addresses and I'll comp them live for you, show you exactly how I got to that ARV, why I got to that ARV, what adjustments I'm making based off of any, discrepancies between our subject property and our comp property, and really give you the understanding from the expert point of view on how you find an ARV and then how you determine an offer price based off of that ARV. Why do I call myself an expert in comping? Well, first and foremost, I have done hundreds and hundreds of interviews with appraisers, asking them questions on how they are determining value when they're doing their appraisal reports. In addition to that, I went to appraisal school and I took it all the way to right before getting licensed because I had no desire to be a licensed appraiser. I just wanted to know the knowledge. I just wanted to make sure that I understood appraisals from the technical standpoint of an appraiser, right? So I went to appraiser school. I then, after going to appraiser school, have comped thousands and thousands of properties, having built Keegley from the ground up. There were days in my early days of Keegley where I would be locked in a closet and I would be comping anywhere from 200 to 300 houses a
my gosh.
day. A day. And some people, it takes them 30 minutes to comp a house. Well, I can comp a house when I'm going and I'm fully focused within 20 to 30 seconds. So that's how proficient I got at it. And I've had my numbers checked over and over again. So many of the lenders that lend on deals that Keegley sells, one of them in specifically Capital Fund, who is a lender that we recommend and a lender that we use personally, and a lender that I invest in. So we're heavily tied to Cap Fund. So don't think that there's not an affiliated business relationship there. There is. But why is there an affiliated business relationship? Well, when we send out a property on an email blast and we say this property's price is, let's just call it 100,000. And when we say ARV is 200,000.
Okay.
Well, if we're saying ARV is 200,000, but Cap Fund comps it and they come up to an ARV of 160, well, that's a problem, right?
Yeah.
Because I'm $40,000 off of what the lender is coming to as an ARV. So what Capital Fund did is they hired an auditing company, a third-party auditing company, to take every one of our blasts over an entire year. And they compared our ARVs to the actual sale price that the customer was able to exit the property for. and we were within 1%.
That is amazing for an entire year.
For an entire year.
Gosh.
For an entire year. Our comps were within plus or minus 1% of actual sales price. When your ARV and your actual sales price are within 1%, you're doing it right. And
You're on
so,
you're on the
and
money.
and it's why I wear the crown. It's why I wear the crown when it comes to comping, because I don't listen. Even Pace Morby comes to me for comps, right? The best in the business come to me for comps. They all do, and none of them will ever say they don't. They know that when it comes to figuring out how much stuff is worth, that I got it cornered. So we'll be comping for you guys. I'll be happy to dive into all of this. In addition to that, Todd says where to start. Okay, so that's an interesting topic, right? Where to start? Because there's so much to do, right? There's so much to do. Like, let's just imagine you're just beginning, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, wait, what's the first thing I do? I turn on my computer? Do I start calling real estate agents? Do I get a list? Do I drive around and knock on doors? Do I put out bandit signs? Do I send mail? What do I do first? What do I do first? So, bro, whoever wrote this, Todd Nobles, man, you have no idea how important that conversation is. In fact, I think where to start needs to be like our first episode.
Yeah, episode 1.
Episode 1, where to start, right? So that's what it's going to be called. Episode 1, where to start. We're going to just open the book for you guys, and we're going to go step 1. What should you do? Right? Should you, if you're wanting to lose weight, okay? If you're like, okay, I'm going to start going to the gym, is step 1 going to Foot Locker and buying new trainers and getting a new workout outfit? Is step 1 getting supplements and making sure that you've got the energy drinks and the protein and the, fat burners or all the other things that you might need to supplement your diet through your exercise? Is it making a decision to exercise? Is it showing up on day 1? What is step 1? Right? Because step 1 will always lead you to step 2, which will lead you to step 3. And so really, I think this is just such an incredible thing. Step 1 will be an incredible show. Abraham, yes, we will help you with the leads. Ooh, I love this. Gigi, she says choosing a market. Yes. What market do we choose, right? How do you go about choosing a market? What are the metrics that I'm looking at? What makes me decide to shy away from this market versus this market? Why am I spending more time and resources and energy calling agents here versus agents here? Why do I stay away from rural areas? Why do I choose areas at this price point? What are the nuances in selecting a market, right? And I've had so much success with the community going virtual that you really have the entire country at your fingertips.
Yeah.
You can choose any market, but you have to have really, really good understanding of the market. And you need to have some infrastructure in place in order for it to work for you. You don't have to live there, but there's specific things that you're going to need to have in order to effectively market. So choosing a market will absolutely be a show that we're gonna do for you guys. Oh my goodness!
Be a good one. I'm excited because I think that that's one of the things with choosing a market. It's like, what do I even look for to choose a market? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so let me ask you this, Landry, because I think this might be a cool thing for us to kind of unpack for a moment.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that your batch users that you've talked to? What are some of the key elements that they look for in choosing a market?
A lot of the ones that we talk about a lot are, and we've come back to here on the show too, is finding markets that have investor activity and movement. That's usually the kind of the top thing. And then we've also been talking, this recently came up in some of our community calls where we do that every week as well. And people get just kind of talking about the trends. Is the population growing? Or more people moving there? So it's some of those things that you might not think about at first glance. Like, is there movement there? With people actually investing in properties? Would they buy your deal?
Right. Well,
That's something to think about.
what's interesting is when we look at the appreciation that happened from 2020 to 2022, one of the most interesting things that I saw. Oh, John Mayo, look at this. John Mayo, Astro community member. He worked virtually from Asia for 10 months and made
Oh,
tens of
man.
thousands of dollars from China, Thailand, Japan. Bro, I mean, look, I literally, this guy's, by the way, John Mayo and his girl, they're two of the most beautiful people that I've ever seen in my life. So kind and generous, gorgeous human beings. And they deserve to travel the world
Yes.
and enjoy the fruits of their labor. But not only were they doing that, but they were making so much money while they were doing it. John,
Yeah,
can
more
you
than
just
10 pieces,
can
yeah.
you yeah, can you just tell us, John, how much money did you make virtually while you were in Asia, using the techniques that I taught you to virtually wholesale? Just I know I'm sorry to put
Ballpark,
you on the
yeah.
spot. Just tell us what it was. Okay, so choosing a market, um, but then, like you said, migratory patterns, because this was one of the things that we found when we studied why the appreciation happened. Well, migration has been one of the biggest factors in
Mhm,
what made people move, right? Or what made the real estate market move. Where did people go? We had Californians coming to Arizona.
right.
We had New Yorkers going to Florida and North Carolina, and people from New Hampshire going into North Carolina and Florida as well. So these migration patterns really affected the real estate market, and that's what made California real estate prices start to dip. It's what made Arizona real estate prices start to
Mhm.
rise. It made Florida prices rise. It made New York fall a little bit. And so you really got to pay attention to where this is going on, because investors follow the money. Investors follow the money. John says during that time, $150,000 from Asia while traveling and not full-time working.
Amazing.
I can't pay people to come and say stuff like this. This is true. Reach out to John Mayo and ask him, like, this is what happens. Thank you, John. I love you, brother. You're the bomb, dude. Thank you for sharing that. So choosing a market and really understanding that is definitely going to be one of our topics.
Gosh, that's awesome.
Here's one. Calculating costs. So the
Yes.
cost associated with a deal, right? From closing costs to transactional funding to double closing to assignments. What are the costs associated with maybe commissions if you got to pay? There's so
Mhm.
many things, title policies, title insurance. There's so many different costs that will come up in your closing that will maybe eat up a bunch of your profit if you don't know how to pass these costs on to the appropriate parties in a deal, right? And so
Yeah.
we'll show you guys how to do that. Keep putting your suggestions in the chat, guys, because today's call is really about curating what this show is going to be. Okay, so off market stuff. All right, so people want to see more off market. So just more direct to seller, like, meat and potatoes. Jamil on the phone talking to so and so.
You put
Oh,
down I have over here too, negotiating, to talk about all the different, kind of people that you might need to negotiate with in different conversations if there's a lot of other people that you're dealing with as well, depending
yes.
on your strategy, maybe.
And so negotiations, and then here filtering motivation.
Yes.
That's huge. How to gauge motivation, I think, is absolutely important. Um, what else do we got here? The right questions to ask, right? So, what questions to ask in your negotiations?
Yeah, and even on the phone, one of those big things, it hasn't been talked about a ton recently that I've seen, but there was a while, a few months back that everybody was talking about when they first get on the phone and they're following that script that everybody gets in the beginning of, oh, how old's the roof? And they're like, I don't know why I'm asking this. All of those things that, okay, if they tell you the answer, what do you do with that information? Like, is that really important to you right now? Like, all of those things that when you're talking to, assuming that you're talking to the right person and the actual decision maker of the property, why does that matter to you? If you ask them a question, what does that do for you in the long run?
Right.
I think that'll be really helpful to break down. So you're not just following a script and be like, oh, that's nice. That can sometimes happen with people getting stuck in those scripts. Like, what do I say now? I don't know. They've answered all my questions.
This is an interesting one. I would like to understand how to examine one's diet, chart it out, and lay out what you're eating. If this has, maybe you're on
I
the
think it
wrong
was with
YouTube
your
channel.
No, I
Might
think
be.
it was with your gym analogy. Yeah.
Oh, got it. Okay, okay.
They were like,
Sorry.
"This is what you should do." Yeah.
Okay. Okay, yeah, because or maybe because I lost some weight, people are like, "Tell us what you did." Um, yeah, so happy to. I made an Instagram reel where I was making a joke about how I lost the weight. Did you see that?
I don't think so, no, but you always post the best stuff.
Yeah, it was. I got in trouble for that one. So
Oh, really?
yeah.
Yeah, there's been some ones I was like, "Oh my gosh, you're killing me."
Um,
Did it get taken down?
no,
Oh, okay,
no,
okay,
but
well
I lost maybe 1,000 followers from it.
oh, jeez.
It's funny. I sometimes I just say stuff because I think it's funny.
Yeah.
But
You win some, you lose some, yeah.
yeah. Guys, thank you so much for the love and support that you guys have been giving Batch here. Make sure that you guys go and show that support by doing business with them at batchleads.io/Jamil. Use code BASICS for 50% off your first month. And also, you're going to get those thousands of free leads by being and taking advantage of this special, all of you guys that are PropStream users, I highly recommend you guys giving this platform a chance to win your business, right? And yes, guys, hit that like button, share this stream, because if you have friends right now that are living in, survival mode where they're working 9 to 5 jobs and it's sucking the soul out of them, you owe your friend at least the suggestion on how they can change that. Right? Even if it is that you just shared this stream on your, somewhere, you took a picture of it and put it in your IG and said, anybody who hates their job should watch this. Because honestly, I wish somebody had done that for me. Thank you,
Yeah.
Effie. I love you. I wish somebody had done that for me and had shown me, how I could have gotten out of the rat race sooner. But, it is what it is. Ooh, I love this one. Real estate
Ooh,
vocabulary. Oh, oh,
that's a good
oh.
one.
That's a good one. That is so good. That is so good. Real estate vocabulary. Hey, Brittany, she said the only thing about prop that I like is the driving for dollars option. Well, we have this, we have driving for dollars in batch as well. And so, Brittany, we will do a show where we show you how to do virtual driving for dollars using batch. You can absolutely use batch for your driving for dollars. Lead gen, it works the same as how PropStream works, but you get better data.
Mhm.
That's the difference. What else do we got here?
Let's see, I got them up here as well.
Yeah, so I think I got that. Real estate vocabulary. Awesome. So we've got a really good list of things here, Landry. Cash buyers,
Mhm.
how to figure out offer price, how to get your leads, both on market, off market, virtual, driving for dollars, cold calling, agent outreach. Comping was a huge one. So many people have problems with comping. So we're going to comp. Let me ask you this, guys. Would you like to see like a month of comping or just a show of comping? Like what would be better for you guys?
Yeah.
How much of this stuff do you guys want to see? So maybe you help us also in the chat right now by giving us some ideas of like what's going to be too much for you, because
Yeah. Should we stick
we
to the series or should we do one off? Like, do you guys
right
like the series of like 2, on that topic or just like move on?
Yeah, exactly. So should we do like a whole month where we do two episodes on one subject, or should we just do one off? So let us know. Do you want a series or one offs? Let us know in the chat right now if you'd like a series on each of these topics or one offs, and then that'll help us really, really make sure that we're doing this right. Rocky, look at Rocky. People are liking the series. They like a full month. Look at this. Rocky is one of my astro
I love
leaders.
that.
He has 6-figure months every single month, and this guy still shows up to this call to learn. Insane. I love
Love
you,
that.
Rocky. Everybody, overseas, yes, because if did you guys know that I just got a new primary residence in Canada?
Oh, you did? Awesome.
Yeah, so
Oh, I didn't know.
I have a 14-year-old girl who lives in
Mhm,
Calgary, Alberta, and
mhm.
she needs to see dad a little bit more.
I love that. Yeah, I
And
saw your
so
post.
I made a commitment to her that I will be in her town at minimum 2 times a month, and that we'll have our own place out there where she can come stay with dad. So I got a place, a beautiful penthouse. Her and I get to hang out in and just watch movies and chill out and enjoy life. So I'll be really, really diving into this virtual wholesaling and doing it overseas, internationally. In fact, we should do an entire session on international and overseas wholesaling. So that's going to be
Agree.
another one.
I
Um,
love
so
that.
so we'll do this international. Now, guys, remember, you're still going to be wholesaling in America, but there's things you're going to need to learn, like how do I set up a bank account?
Ooh, yeah.
How do I set up an LLC? So there's all these pieces that you're going to need to understand before you can virtually wholesale overseas or from an international country. But you can absolutely do it. You can absolutely wholesale from Canada in the US. You can wholesale from India in the US. I've got students, Swayam, 17-year-old guy from India who's in the Astro community. I think he's going to make like $10,000 or $15,000 this month from India at 17 years old. Imagine
Oh my
making,
god.
just let's say it's 10 grand. Imagine making $10,000 in India where like $10,000 makes you the president.
Yeah.
Like you're rich with 10 grand, right? Like it's pretty hard out there. And this kid, 17 years old, is doing it virtually from his computer overseas in an international country. So we're gonna do overseas.
So amazing. Especially at 17, you know?
I
Think
know,
about what you were doing at 17.
nothing good. So overseas international wholesaling, we'll absolutely add that to the list. I think that's a phenomenal idea. Comp as much as possible. Comping every chance. More comping. My goodness.
I think that's gonna be really good. I actually this past week, was, we were breaking into looking in different markets to comp, and it was in Connecticut and Alabama, and I was like, "Hey, guys, send me your properties, and I'll show you an example of how we can break this down." They sent me the properties. I was like, I don't know what to do about these ones because, used to in Arizona where everybody's lot size is like what 2,500 square feet, like something, everybody's the same. And then
Yep.
over in these places, everybody's was like 54,000, 20,000. So then all of those appraisal rules just went right out the window. So I think it'll be really cool to break into those different markets where you're like, wait, what do I do when it doesn't match up, with a
Right.
lot of the things that you're able to go through. I was like, sorry guys, don't know what to do about these and if it matters anymore with these property sizes or the lot sizes. So yeah, yeah, for sure.
Crazy.
Oh, Justin's on here. Yeah, he was on the challenge.
Amazing. So yeah, we got you there, Justin, calculating repairs. And of course, guys, contracts. Which ones to use, when to use them. When do you use a real estate agent standard form? When do you use the 2-page wholesale contract? When do you use the assignment contract? When do you use an addendum? When do you use a buyer broker agreement? When do you use an exclusive option? When do you use a non-exclusive option? Like there's so many pieces, there's so many documents to understand. And we're going to go through all of those documents for you guys so that you know what means what, when to use them. Guys, I honestly I would be surprised if this series didn't go like legit viral, because it's like, who else is out there giving the game away from A to Z?
Literally. Yeah. I know. I was just thinking that. I'm like, nobody's going through like actually the nitty gritty. I feel like, especially for free, where we're just on here. That's what I love about this show, is that, especially with how we're changing the branding and going back to basics, is that we're focusing on what you guys are struggling with and what you go through in your businesses. Especially, it's not just something random that we're pulling out of our back pocket. It's meant for you guys. That's what I think is so cool and valuable, which I feel so lucky to get to be on here with you, Jamil, because it is, it's a big deal. So I hope that you guys find value in this show.
Awesome. And Effie said insurance. Yes, of course, when we're talking about costs, that'll also be in here. Insurance,
Insurance,
you
yeah,
know,
that's a good one.
how to understand the insurance aspects of it. I've seen a lot of investors leaving Florida because of the cost of insurance, right?
Mm.
I was going to do a deal in Malibu, California, only to find out that not a single insurance company will insure any property in the hills of Malibu.
You're
Any
joking.
property. So what does that mean? You can't get a loan. I have a friend who has a $5 million home on a hill in Malibu, uninsured. She has to own it in cash in order to have it. And I'm
Holy
just
crap.
shocked. And so, yes, how does insurance change based off the geography, right? Because
Yeah.
insurance is yes, Effie, insurance is a huge problem in Florida because of all of the natural disasters, right? Hurricane after hurricane, flood, hurricane, flood. All of these things, all of this damage is devastating our insurance companies. It's making premiums skyrocket. And for buy and hold investors that are buying properties in central and southern Florida, and even the north panhandle and whatnot, their numbers are totally different from what they were expecting in the first place, because their insurance costs have tripled or quadrupled. And so now, if you're only making $200 to $400 a month in cash flow on your rental, and your insurance went up $600, now you're losing money. Right. And so the benefit of having that rental is not really there anymore. In fact, I'm going to share with you guys something that I of course, I always share the gems with this audience, but one of the lists that we've been using at Keegley to get motivated sellers are landlords in Florida.
Oh man.
And
Yeah.
our opening line is, the insurance here is you're an investor here. You're a buy and hold investor in Florida, right? Is that correct? Yep. What are you thinking about these insurance rates? They're crazy. Oh my gosh. Now it's just like, it's like if I got a list of all the Republicans in America and I just started a conversation saying, what do you think about Joe Biden? I'm
That's
going to
kind of
get
how it is when you get on
hours
the
and
internet.
hours and hours of opinion, right? So it's exactly what I'm doing in Florida right now. I'm just calling buy and hold investors in Florida, and I'm asking their opinion on insurance.
Yeah.
And they talk themselves into a frenzy. They talk themselves out of the property. They talk themselves out of this entire endeavor of being a buy and hold investor in Florida.
Yeah.
And then I segue the conversation into, well, listen, I might just be able to help you with that, because what I do is I help people get out of these non-cash flowing properties that are killing them and not making
Mhm.
any sense. Why don't we take advantage of your appreciation that you've gotten on this property, and let me help you take an exit on this thing where you're going to be profitable and move you into a better situation in a different market. Effie is saying some people in Florida are going naked, no insurance. Ugh, what a
Yeah.
reckless. They're one disaster away, Effie. One disaster away from their entire nest egg disappearing. I don't recommend that one bit. I think that is such a short-term solution for a major problem, and I don't think that that can make a lot of sense.
Wasn't You know what? Now that I think about it, remember that one guy that you had a conversation on when we were actually driving for dollars in Florida? And I think he said the same thing. Yeah, he
Yeah.
was like, I just don't insure him. He's like, I don't even get insurance on him.
Reckless.
Yeah, he was like, I'll just fix it myself. I'm like, man, not if
Like,
it
what
crushes
happens,
the house. Yeah.
you know? Um, insurance is one of these double-edged swords. It's like when you never need them until you do.
Yeah.
And you resent paying it until they pay you, right? So, have you ever had an insurance claim before?
No, I never have.
Oh my god. See, I'm the reason why insurance um happens. I've been in so many car accidents.
There was one time that I was, but then the guy was like, "Nope, I don't want to give you my insurance," and he just left. So probably should have.
He hit and ran you?
Kind of the other way around.
You hit
Well,
him?
actually, wait, no, he hit me. It was my fault, but he hit me. So anyway, it was really slow. But yeah, he didn't want to. I should have, looking back, it was my mistake. But
He
anyway, yeah.
probably had warrants is probably what the whole.
He's probably like, you know what? Let's just call it good, call it even. So yeah, that was not
Wow.
fun. I felt really guilty about that. But anyway,
Wow.
you've been in a lot of accidents then?
I've been in a lot of car accidents. I've been in physical accidents. I've broken more bones than I care to admit. Neck, arm, ankle. Um, gosh, what else? Those are the main
What are
ones
you
I can
doing
think
when
of.
you do this stuff? I broke my leg once, and that was from the trampoline. What about you? What are you
Oh,
doing when you're
okay.
breaking your bones?
So I'm the only person that I know that gets injured in the most benign activities ever. Okay. So I break my neck driving in a car accident. So that's benign, but somewhat dangerous.
Yeah.
Um, I break my ankle hiking.
Oh, that's not fun. Were you high up?
I was alone, and that was super hard.
Oh
And then
no,
as
that's
soon as
sad.
yes, and then I had a boot on my leg for 8 weeks. And as soon as I got the boot taken off, I ended up my wife flipped a golf cart and snapped my arm. That's why I got this big arm.
Oh my
People are like,
gosh.
"What's that? All that scarring on your arm?" And I'm like, "Oh, that's when my wife flipped a golf cart and snapped my
Oh,
arm." And this happened days after I got the boot off my ankle.
terrible.
Terrible.
Terrible luck. I've had a golf cart flipped on me too, but it like put a dent in my leg. It didn't like one of my calf muscles has like an indent in it forever. It's really annoying. So that's terrible. Yeah. Got to be more careful, not break all
Yes.
your bones.
That's I mean, that's it, right? That's the key here. So guys, we absolutely got your suggestions here. So batch to basics is what we are going to be being rebranded at. Um and we're excited. We're excited to be hanging with you. We're excited to be a part of this. We're excited to make sure that we've got this all together. You guys have been such an incredible crew, loyal followers, loyal to this entire um, operation. And so we're just grateful. We're grateful. And please keep up. Please keep sending us the suggestions that you have for what you'd like to see. This is not the only day that you're going to be able to tell us what you want to see this show become. But we're excited. Landry,
Yeah.
anything to add?
No, not really. You just got a nice running list from you guys. Like Jamil said, we're gonna keep collecting your responses. Oh, one other thing, Natasha, if you could post the link for the community. If you guys want to get into the batch community, you can message me there if you need help, especially for you guys, if any of you are wanting to really give batch a chance. Come in there. I will teach you about the system. You don't need to feel, overwhelmed by the computer stuff. That's where I come into play, give you guys the confidence to use the tools, and you can focus on all of the other skills in your business. But yeah, I'm super excited and we'll help you guys along the way. That's the name of the game. So I think this is going to be a pretty awesome series and hope you guys keep sharing it. So looking
Yes,
forward to it.
I agree. So, guys, one more time, if you are not a customer of Batch, before we start the next show, Batch to Basics, give us the opportunity to earn your business. Go to batchleads.io/Jamil, use code BASICS, and we will absolutely knock your socks off and show you exactly why this is the best winning platform in the game. Amazing.
That's it.
Amazing. Before we head off, guys, what else would you guys like to see us do more of? Because we got comping, we've got contracts, we've got, you know, start to basics, you know, all of it. We've got that all. But is there anything else specifically that you need from us? Because this would be your chance to kind of get that out. We're grateful for you as well. So grateful for the loyal viewership, the community. Hey, Landry, tell us a little bit about the batch community, because you guys have been doing a really good job there.
Yeah, thanks. It's been going on for quite some time. We have a pretty good group in there, but I mean, like today, I have a community call with people. So I do that every Thursday evening, late afternoon. And then people just hop on there. I think today we're going to make a couple of phone calls together. Like the whole point of the community is for people to find others in their market. I have a ton of people that have been in the business for 8, 10, 15 plus years, and a ton that are just getting started. And the best part is if you guys are just like seriously not convinced about batch, but you're like, I want a community, get in there. It's inclusive. We want you guys to feel that you have support around you to take the action in your business. And I think that that's the big idea. There is a place to come together, ask questions, and share value with one another. So that's what I do. Is I'm the community manager, and I absolutely love it. So I feel very, very lucky to do what I do and work for Batch. So
awesome. Chung's question here is a great one. Does Batch work in Canada? So here's the thing about Canada and a lot of international locations when it comes to real estate. In Canada, they don't share information. So you can't get sold. You know how in America we've got non-disclosure states like Texas, New Mexico, Utah. They're non-disclosure, meaning that you can only get the data from the MLS, which is how we get a lot of our data to be able to help you comp in non-disclosure states. Now, in Canada, the entire country is non-disclosure. In fact, they've set it up such in Canada that the only way that you can get sold data or comps is through using a realtor. So they force you to use a realtor in Canada. So as a private real estate investor, I can't find out how much stuff is worth. I can't find out how much stuff will sell for. I can't figure out the ARV, and it keeps me at the mercy of the agent. Because if the agent tells me this house is worth 400 grand, but there's a sale for 500, but the agent just wants to sell this fast and says it's 400, well, I got to listen to them because I don't have any data to prove otherwise, because it's not open to me. I don't get to see it. And so it really doesn't allow for Canadian people who are engaging in investing activity to really know what the hell is going on. That's one of the biggest drawbacks that I found in working in Canada. The other thing that I really think about Canada that makes real estate difficult is that you can only get 5-year terms on your mortgage. So think of this. In America right now, we have all of these houses with 2, 3, 4% mortgages for 30 years.
Yeah.
So these houses are going to have these incredible low rates for 30 years, right? So they're happy as a clam. In Canada, they had those 2, 3, 4% mortgages, but every mortgage has a maximum of a 5-year term on it. So in 5 years, you got to refinance. Every 5 years, you have to refinance in Canada. So all these people that took advantage of the 2, 3, 4% mortgages, they're all bumping to 6, 7, 8 as soon as they have to refinance over there. So
that sucks.
It sucks. And so now think of that. So what does that do to the market? Right? It tanks the market based off of the fact that people can't afford it. People can't afford the refinance cost, so then they have to sell. And then all of a sudden now, if there's so many houses flooding the market starts to decline. And so this is one of the drawbacks that you find in international locations like Canada and Europe, where the access to information and the rules just aren't meant for business. Remember, I love Canada. I'm a Canadian, but it is how do I say this? It's socialism in Canada. It's social. I mean, it's called a democratic socialist country,
Oh,
meaning
really?
it's democratic socialism. So it's closer to socialism than it is capitalism. So it is very much in that way of, hey, we're closer to communism than we are to capitalism
Mm.
in Canada, which is, think about it. It's tough. So with
Gosh,
that
I had
said,
no idea about that though. With
yeah,
the that
yeah,
is not a good deal.
not a good deal for Canadians. And so,
Oh man.
Chung, what I'm going to be teaching you is how to wholesale virtually from Canada in the United States. Okay, that's what I'm going to show you guys how to do. How to virtually wholesale from Europe, India, Africa. I've got people in South Africa in my community. I mean, all over the country, all over the globe. So you don't need to worry about having access to Canadian data in batch. You're only going to need access to American data because I'm going to teach you how to wholesale from wherever the hell you are, as long as you got an internet connection and a telephone and a computer. I'm going to show you. You don't even need a computer. You just need your phone that has data. Okay,
Mhm.
but if you have a computer, it's a little easier. But I'm going to teach you how to wholesale from wherever you are in America. I'm going to show you how to open your bank accounts, set up your LLCs, find your title company, get a hold of your contracts and documents, and start conducting business. I'll even introduce you to accountants that'll help you make sure that you're taking care of your tax liabilities in the United States and Canada as well, or wherever you're tuning in from. So I hope this overseas education is going to be helpful to a lot of you guys. I do realize that our audience is not just in the United States, that my audience comes from all over the globe. And so we really want to help people. Dizzy Loot, I am bringing back the proof of funds. I promise you, bro. I didn't take it away to be malicious. I took it away because I had a situation with bigger pockets on it, and I'm just making sure that I'm safe legally to continue providing them. So be patient with me, brother. I'm doing my best to bring that back. I promise the day I get the thumbs up is the day I will scream it from the rooftops that Flip Fund is back. But for the moment, if you need a proof of funds, just go to a local hard money lender. Your local hard money lender will happily provide you a proof of funds. And in the process of getting a hold of them, you'll absolutely get a new relationship as well. Your enthusiasm is rising. I'm so glad to hear that. This is going to be like I'm seriously excited about what we're about to find out.
Me too. Me too. It goes, I literally have this massive, I've just continued to kind of read over. So I just have a ton of things that you guys have brought to the table. So I'm looking forward to see what we do in these series.
I'm super looking forward to it. Landry, is there any changes in time or day that we're gonna be doing this, or can people expect us Thursdays, 1 p.m. Pacific,
I
wherever
think
they're
that
tuning in from?
stays at here. Let me take a look at that because when our next show will be in 2 weeks from now, and that is going to be, I think it changes on the 5th. Oh, yeah. So our next show the time will change. I think I get so confused with it because doesn't Arizona go to MST?
Yep.
Yeah. So I think it'll still be 1 p.m. Oh, we're gonna keep it at Arizona time,
Yep.
for you. Yeah, where you're at. So it'll be 1 p.m. MST, I think, is
Which will
where
be
we'll keep
1
it.
p.m. AZ time. Yep.
Yes, for AZ time, and then that would mean that would be
Noon Pacific.
yes,
Yep.
that's right. Yeah, I'm
Noon
terrible at
Pacific.
time zones.
Yep.
So then that would be 2 hours ahead for
East.
Eastern time. So if I
Yep.
know that we have a ton of people like Florida over on the East Coast, so you guys would show up at 3 instead of 4. So 3
Awesome.
PM. Yeah.
But pay attention to the emails, pay attention to my social media. We always will make sure that we, alert you to when the show is going to be going live. I will give you those times and dates, days beforehand so that you guys will know when you should be showing up for this brand new show. It's amazing. Batch to basics, starting from day one. Landry, we need to get you a painting.
Yeah, right? We should, what's his name? I can't think of his name right now.
Jay?
Jay. Yeah, we'll just talk to Jay. He can send me a big, huge box in the mail.
I you know what? I think I might do that.
What would it be? You
I
could
don't
put
know.
I
I'll,
don't I don't wanna pick. I'm not good at picking. You pick it. It'll be a surprise.
I've got some pretty cool photos of you and I when we did our photo shoot, and I'll
Oh,
pick one
yeah?
and I'll get him to paint one.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah, okay. Yep, I would love that, and I'll have my own painting up in the background then.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Guys, we are at the time, but Landry and I love you. Jamil goes off market with Landry Morby, signing off for the last time. The last time ever. This will never be the same. Join us in 2 weeks for Batch to Basics with Jamil and Landry. Same time, same place. We're
Bye,
out.
guys.